Good morning, everyone. So, I am here with the Indian Express newspaper, and today's date is sorry, 10 February. Okay, so let's begin today's session. Uh, I'm going to start from the front page. So, this is the front page where grants extension of deadline for scrutiny of documents in Bengal. Supreme Court message to states won't allow impediment to self-intensive revision. National interest will guide how India sources its energy, Foreign Secretary Misri. Match on February 15, T20 World Cup Pakistan U-turn on boycott threat will play India. In self-intensive revision camp, TMC calls the shots filing it's filling forms to guiding poll staff. Okay, it's about the self-intensive revision and the voting booth. Okay, from SMS to graded email, government text nudge makes a mark on flagship its scheme, which is blacklist. Empty center claims counterclaim few taker. Opposition wave. No trust against Birla, don't support it. TMC SP cautious. Demand rollback in suspension of 8 MPs expunging of Dubey remark. From margin to center stage, Jamaat's new role in Bangladesh poll battle. This is the second page. It will give you the detailed explanation of the first page, so read it in detail. I am going to skip the study page because it is not relevant in terms of any government exam. It's just the normal news. The local news of Delhi is written here. It's about the politics page. I think I have to skip that one also. So I am with the slide of parliament where discussion on union budget. No need to LS log jam as opposition demands. Let Rahul speak. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju in Lok Sabha on Monday. Disruption in RS2 as opposition MPs stage a walkout. Later on, PM cares PMNRF NDF Congress slams government over PMO note to Lok Sabha. BJP says UPA capped PM fund out of right to information. Another one is also about the budget, where budget cautious, forgetful of the past, reforms, Sudhar, Express stuck, Chidambaram in RS. Birla urged PM not to come to LS due to unprecedented disorder, said by officials. Still on the steps, suspended Lok Sabha MPs Hebe Eden and Prashant Yadurao Padol with others as they protest on the parliament premises during the ongoing budget session on Monday. Delhi police files case over circulation of Jen Naravin's unpublished book. Leadership not about polls but understanding people, said by PM. Another one is about the CM did not want to reveal SIT, Special Investigation, I think it's SIT, Special Investigation Team report since there's no proof of Pakistan leaked Gogoi. Assam Congress Chief Gaurav Gogoi in Guwahati on Monday. Overseas files complaint over post on Himanta deliberate malicious act to cause outrages. Finally, we are at the editorial page, and this is the important page because in this page you will get the detailed explanation of each and everything. Okay, like what is happening in the economy and what are the topics which is much and more important in context of exams, what is the point of views of the authors. Okay, so these are the thing. Our responsibility walks hand in hand with capacity and power. J.G. Holland. Trade framework. The first article is about the trade framework gives India room to navigate but tilts ground in US favor. Pratap Bhanu Mehta. The US does not see India as a strategic partner in the arenas that matter most to India's security. Its immediate neighborhood on Pakistan, Washington has repeatedly subordinated Indian concerns. So, the line between pragmatism, giving into the art of the possible, and abdication, abandoning judgment, accountability, or principle is very thin. The Indo US Framework Agreement on Trade in a case in point. So, inside it, the Pratap Bhanu Mehta is going to give you the framework of the trade, which about the India and the US and how they are just trying to navigate it. Okay, and everything which is happening, they are the all the activities and all the substance are in the favor of US. This is the main motto. Okay, so public discourse, of course, is donated by the threat of the agreement, which is loud declamation in India's power and PM's wisdom, but two framing undergird its defense. The first is the Trumphallist and America lobby, which believe that India's future is hitched to US. Okay, so to see this as a new strategic breakthrough, a deepening embrace from the uh, side will be able to escape. Okay, I didn't get any ideas from there, but I think from next para I will get some ideas. So in the second is the economic pragmatism. The first one they talk about the philosophies of Trump and what are the future of India in context of US. Okay, this is the first para. The second para, which says about the agreement, which is better than the status quo. It removes the Russia related punitive tariff. It gives what? It gives India a renewed access to US market by reducing the tariff from 50% to 18% and potentially restoring competitiveness for Indian export. It may consolidate India's trajectory. It means the disasters toward openness and allow China plus one strategy to come back into play. Okay, so what's the another one? It might even induce reform, shaking the entrenched position of GMO and non-food agriculture. This all these play out as anyone guess. There is no detailed agreement. The success will depend as much on the domestic reforms and competitive behavior of Sino-US relation on the anything written on paper. Okay, but even if we acknowledge what that the agreement has some pragmatic economic potential, it does not pass the smell test. For a starter, this is not a reciprocal free trade agreement. As Trump has made clear, America is not playing for reciprocal equality, it is playing for imperial domination, even on its own term. The agreement reflects this asymmetry. The new tariff regime is worse for India than what existed before Trump come to power. Okay, so the tariff structure favor the US. India cuts tariff to zero, where US imposed 18%. It's a high tariff. More astonished astonishing. Still, India has committed to purchase $500 billion worth of American goods over 5 years, which free trade agreement contains a one-way obligation about what by one party to massive purchase goods from the other. Okay, so this commitment can also distort India's policy choice, purchase targets, magnitude risk, and the reshaping the industrial strategy और जो building में जो resilience है by fight its destiny rather than design. Okay, so they are just trying to shaping the industries and the buildings. Okay, so, they are also likely to be met only through a major reorientation of defense procurement with profound strategic consequences. This is not an agreement of free trade and openness despite the ideology mystifying language of our economists. It is an agreement for mercantile it's a mercantilist extraction, one that increase vulnerability. Okay, so trade is never just about trade. India's strategic abdication, tell me the meaning of abdication, are already visible. India's position on Ukraine war and the classic case of evasion, but being compelled under duress to do what one might to have chosen on the principle, namely to stop purchase of Russian oil, is something else altogether. So, does remember when our government proudly declared no power would allow India to define related relationships with third countries? This is the main question that author is raising from this article, that what are the power? It does India doesn't have any power? Does India not have any power that the India's relation with third person can be defined by another one? We routinely allow it to happen. The ultimate repercussion for India-Russia relation will depend on many contingencies, including outcome on the war in Ukraine. Okay. Hmm. So till this para, the India and US relationship is mainly depend on the blunt truth, okay, of and the outcome of the war in Ukraine. So India's relationship with other state is increasing determinant, but not by its own judgment, but by external pressures. We are now putting ourselves formally under surveillance on this score. Okay, so as long as both India and America remain open societies और जो ऑर्गेनिक कनेक्शंस हो रहे हैं उन लोगों के बीच में, ठीक है, बिटवीन द इंडिया एंड द अदर कंट्रीज, और ये जो कनेक्शंस है ये सारे रियल हैं एंड दे मैटर, ओके, दे रियली मैटर, बट all these connections are due to external pressures. So लेकिन कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है, means the Indian government did not need to be confused, and they are not confused with the strategic alignment at the level that count for national security. Okay, so the US does not see India as a strategic partner in arenas that matter most to India's security. Its immediate neighborhood on Pakistan, Washington has repeatedly subordinated India concern to short-term America's objective and will continue to do so. Historically, the US has frequently had an interest in managing rather than resolving regional conflict, keeping them below the threshold of explosion while retaining leverage over all parties. Even on China, where Indo-US convergence, the jury remain out. The US and primary objective is not to secure India's rise, but to manage China's power on terms favorable to itself. So India figures in this strategy less as an autonomous pole and more as an instrument useful when pressure is needed, dispensable when expedient. The history of great power politics suggests that such instrumental alignment are reversible and often abruptly so. To call this agreement a strategic breakthrough is a gross abuse of language. So, but this is not be mistaken for a retreat from imperial power. What has replaced them is more arbitrary and transactional assertion of dominance, one that relies on section tariff, regulatory coercion, financial leverage, and even military intervention. So, the US increasing demand about the conformity even in domains that ought to fall squarely within domestic jurisdiction, and its engagement with other sovereignty is not denied in principle but hollowed out in practice. So the framework agreement reflects this reality formally. It gives both sides room to renegotiate and substantially, however, it amends a symmetry that favor America leverage recently experienced has shown pressure is applied. It is India that blinks. So according to all, we're acknowledging the power asymmetry is realism and it internalize it to it so completely that one relinquishes independent judgment is something else we might want to in the name of pragmatism given we could even make the best of this deal in a way that the consequences are not bad, but this is not a trump. The perfume of official announcement cannot disguise the stench of our own diminishment. Okay, so this is the whole article, okay, about the India and the US, okay. An urban tragedy created by any abdication. RSS vision give identity a shared culture grammar. Moving to the explanation page and after that the economy page. 4,000 crore lost in digital arrest. This is dacoity said by Supreme Court. It's a huge data. Villagers flee, houses burn down as violence rocks Manipur's Ukhrul. It's also about the nation. Punjab law student kills classmate then turns gun on himself. Flagship kills a skill. Scheme blacklist. India Greece sign joint declaration of intent to strengthen defense cooperation. Okay, India and Greece sign. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh with Greek counterpart Nikolaos Georgios Dendias in New Delhi on Monday. Tulips inventor, a breakthrough set to give a boost to valley tourism. Meanwhile, flux in agency behind PMKVY CEO exists, police complaint. Karnataka man shot in Toronto, father seeks government help. About the explanation page, about agriculture, how US trade deal may alter India's feed market. India has not opened the door to America's GM corn and soybean, but its window for US sorghum and DDGS might not be small. We already read about the trade deals on yesterday's newspaper. Moving from the sports page, finally we are at the economy. So, inside CBDS, in list of digital mode of payment, new reporting norm for crypto exchange, hike and limit for quoting pen for cash deposit, hotel bills. Okay. 25 transmission project face delay due to land acquisition. 24 refocused. Developed India must bridge 6.5 trillion gap in India's net zero push. Niti Aayog. It's the important one, okay? Read it. Government to support steel export hit by CBAM. Okay, that's all. But I think all the news of this page is important, so read it in detail, okay? I will upload the PDF of this newspaper in description box. Go and download from there. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.